Well, good afternoon. This is Bill Bushka again. I just want to recap some points about my own thoughts about morality, personal morality, and politics. I know I've talked about some of these things before, particularly on October the 7th, July the 13th. That's what was one of the most important ones, what makes a good person, and June 29th. So I've covered some of this material before, but I wanted to just run over. I found some old documents I had made from 2012 and 2014. I just wanted to go through some of those a little bit in a couple of videos today, and I'm going to give the URLs for these in the description. But back in 2012, it looks like I made a sequence of statements where I had them color coded, and I was trying to make up what I called a do, ask, do, tell 4 series of slides on PowerPoint, and we'll get to that in another video. But there were 4 different sequences of statements called the part 0 with do, ask, do, tell, connecting the dots, keeping them honest. I have a series of statements in where red is my perception of what has happened or what has been demanded of me. Blue statements are things from external sources. Black statements and just plain with no color or black are based on, are just simply suppositions. And green is based on material that's actually in my books, which I could give a footnote to. So if you go, and these are going to be in the references in a minute, so you won't have to read them online, but you'll be able to look them up. But this is part 0. And then part 1 is my own identity, personal skills, and mission. And that goes all the way through my experience with the draft and student deferments and the whole moral question that surrounded those back in the 60s. And then part 2 is about sexual orientation and gender identity flow. And again, I have my own feeling that a lot of it has to do with upward affiliation, and I'll come back to that, and wanting to have a certain way of having an influence in the world and being able to feel pleasure and having everything work a certain way. So that was part 2. And part 3 was the self-publishing flow. And when I made this page, it actually reproduced it twice. So all the issues about the fact that for the first time in human history, back in the late 90s, you had the ability to, with Web 1.0, to put something out there and have the whole world find it. And in some cases, because not that many people did it the way I did it, with some issues, you would be able to have a tremendous amount of influence over the outcome of an issue asymmetrically. It's particularly true with me and gays in the military. And it's been true of a few other things. And it's not exactly democratic because nobody elected me. So that's been controversial. So that's the first video part of this.